Hey everybody, long time no see. Going through a kind of rough winter, I keep getting sick. Like really bad, like I'm sleeping like 14, 15 hours a day and just, yeah, really unwell. So yeah, it's life in the big city in the winter. I guess I'm getting old or something, or maybe it's that bio weapon. You know, I think the spread of the spread itself is some kind of like thing that mutates. It's a strange thing that's gonna creep up and bite us on the ass one day. I think, because yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not that. Anyway, yeah, I've been kind of sad too lately because I've been looking at the rapid implosion of Canada. Basically, is it, you know, stands on its last few legs. It's like it's some kind of Canada is some kind of caterpillar or something, and they keep pulling off one leg after the other. You know, and it's got hardly any legs to stand on anymore. It's a ridiculous farce and the laughing stock of the entire world. It does everything absolutely backward. It's like a really badly anatomical person, like that's like got their feet backwards and their spine twisted around with their head between their where their ass should be. You know, like it's this weird, clumsy fucking thing. You know. Very dysfunctional, you know. And now we've seen like what 2.5 months of being prorogued has accomplished. And yeah, so it looks like this Carney blockhead he's the big cheese now. He's like gets all huffy if you ask him like a personal question about all his globalist ties. They don't even talk about that though. It's just his business ties, you know, like they just won't even go near that, you know. And it's so bloody unfair because like Poilievre's star shined in you know question period and the House of Commons and all that. And like this, we don't see much of him, you know. We don't see much of him, and all we see is the liberals, and all we see is like our vacuous communist organs that call themselves news. You know, all you hear is them about the liberals and how great Mark Carney is and how squeaky clean an outsider he is and all this fucking absolute nonsense. And he's been behind Trudeau all along, and it's gonna be meet the new boss, same as the old boss, even worse. This guy's smart. Trudeau's a fucking, he's a dunce. He's very good at skipping away from and dodging bullets and stuff like that. But wow, you know, I can't believe what this party's getting away with. There's no law here. You know, there's no protection against a government that's gone completely rogue. It's rogue, man. It legalizes hard drugs, meth, coke, heroin. This stuff should have never been illegal in the first place. But now, like they're replacing it with pharmaceuticals, oxycodone. What do you call it? Hydromorphone, otherwise known as Dilaudid. You know, this is their safe supply, and they're giving away one of the most powerful most addictive pharmaceuticals. I mean, it puts OxyContin to shame. I know, I was addicted to that shit before. That same shit. And like I was doing 5 milligrams, and that's the strongest I could get from my pharmacy. They were yellow. But they're giving away 8 milligrams. 8 milligram pill. That's powerful, man. That's really powerful. And a lot of them shoot it up. And you got like 15-year-old schoolgirls shooting up Dilaudid. They legalized the stuff, but they copy like Portugal's model in terms of like legalizing everything, but then Portugal like has a extensive system of rehabilitation centers and a community and stuff to like be drawn to. You know, they, you know, if they're gonna give you drugs, you have to like you have to pledge to get clean one day with the idea of getting clean. And I mean, this is the goal. So of course, like when a lot of people get involved in a goal, it just takes on a life of its own, and suddenly everybody wants to get off drugs. But in Canada, this doesn't happen, you know, except Alberta. That's the only place in Canada that's got like an envious rehabilitation system for this. Like it's amazing what this Danielle Smith is doing. She seems like a fantastic premier. I wish we had something like her over here. We have this loser Legault, and he's as communist left leaning as you can get. Like he's a total globalist. He's in the pockets of the Laurentides, the Laurentians over here. Yeah, it's a big family that runs Canada, you know. But you know, it's always like that here in Quebec, you know. You can't even drill a spigot for oil, you know. You just can't do it. It's against environment, so it's going to hurt Quebec, even though they spew the most vile sewage into the waterways. That should be the focus, is what we're throwing in the ground, throwing in the waterways, all the chemicals we make, the plastics. That should be the issue. Why the hell is burning a little gasoline in a car? I mean, they got them down to like what, 60 miles to the gallon in some cars, and they had hybrids. I think they were getting like 70 miles to the gallon, 80 miles. Small cars, you know, we were doing that forever. That's clean enough. We represent such a small little speck on the earth. A little putt from a car isn't going to do anything. It dirties up our cities and stuff, and yeah, it does create smog in the immediate vicinity. But once it dissipates, this big, huge Earth and all its weather systems take it away and purify it and clean it, because that's what the Earth does. It cleans things, but it can't clean like all these chemicals that we're putting in the water and killing off all our wildlife, and you know, and they're becoming all gay. You know, they probably have the frogs have an LGBT community as well. You know, because that's kind of what's happening. But they don't talk about that. They just want to focus on what we're putting in the air, and like the engine. You know, the fuel that drives the big engine that drives the whole world is fossil fuels, right? And then everything else, like, I mean, an unbelievable amount of shit is made from petroleum, plastics, like, you name it. They even put it in food. They put it on coats of pills. It's a pretty pervasive industry, and a lot of it is very unnecessarily polluting and ruining lands and poisoning waterways, and These are the things that should be focused on. But no, they want to focus in on the fuel that drives the whole society, which is absolute fucking madness. But that's what Quebec does, you know. They go along with the globalists and their madness, their absolute climate madness, you know, and it's fucking absurd. It's absurd, but it's controlling the whole world, especially like Canada. Canada, you notice how much it clung to the edicts and the mandates and during the thing that should have never been. Oh, Canada was the last to let go, you know? When we think of Canada and being patriotic, like the new Canada that I know, the only patriotism I've seen come out of Canadians is during that trucker thing, that convoy. That was like the most impressive thing I'd ever seen come out of Canada, and I was really happy to be Canadian that day for a change. Yeah. But yeah, back to reality. Like here we are, a few years later, and well, it's like an absolute mess. And now we're supposed to be heading into an election, but it's very nebulous. And maybe we might have an election in 3 months. Maybe right after Parliament, you know, meets again, or maybe next year. Who knows? This is like how up in the air it is. How the fuck did they get away with this shit? They've broken the law. The things they were doing during the convoy, those were ruled illegal by a court. But what happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The court is a windbag. It's a fucking lion without any teeth. Fucking unbelievable. And so like they only have the communist organs, the globe, the fucking whatever global whatever it is, all of them. They're all communist organs being bought and paid for by like the Laurentian families over here who want to control everything, and they're globalists, and they always were, you know. Montreal is a cesspool for that kind of thing. Like during Prohibition, this is where, you know, a lot of Canadian cities got their start, especially like Winnipeg. They got their start through bootlegging because it was illegal in the United States, but plenty legal here. So we just, you know, the Bronfmans and all these huge, you know, rich families, you know, they all participated in this, of course, you know, just like they participated in the opium wars in the previous century. But yeah, so the media, all we hear about is Carney and Team Canada, and like they gathered all the premiers of Canada. I think there was 13 of them. Like there's 3 territories, and they went down to Washington to see Trump, and he didn't even see them. You know, he let one of his staffers see them because he doesn't take this place very seriously. There's a lot of fucking reasons why, and for some reason he's not talking about that. But Canada, like, is a huge enemy to the United States, and China's taking over the world, and they're taking over the world through social media and shaping people's hearts and minds. And they've shaped our hearts and minds so much so that we have this deplorable government that's ruined Canada. Like it'll never be fixed. It's not repairable. It's completely finished. If anybody thinks that one leader can pop up and change everything that's wrong with Canada, well, that might be about as miraculous as getting like a guy like Trump to actually do what he's doing, because I can't believe what he's doing over there. He seems to be doing some good things and some really bad things, but a lot of good things, more good things than I've ever seen come out of a president before. But this place has been like exporting stuff from China like into the United States, of course, with the Biden regime. Drugs. A lot of fucking things. A lot of smuggling, a lot of money laundering, a lot of like crime, and it's becoming like a narco state. Canada is a narco state. Not along with being an oligarchy and a communist dictatorship. Like, you see that they're a communist dictatorship because they don't want to fucking leave power, and they run all the fucking news, and the way they run the country is exactly the way the Soviet Union was governed. It's exactly that's how they control the medical, the healthcare system. It's all mafia. It's all drug money, billionaires and their drug money. Forget Al Capone. This is the government. The government has become the mob in Canada. It's ridiculous. It's fucking criminal for the most part. And here we are. We're going to elect them again. And you know what's ironic is the people, the demographic that are going to elect them are the ones the government are trying to kill off as fast as possible by way of maid or the other various ways, like making them wait for like very, very, like their very needed operation or treatment on something that could kill them if they don't get it treated in time. And the government over and over again, all over to every little hamlet in Canada, this is happening, where the government is squeezing our elders out. And anybody that's not healthy, because it's also like eugenics. Like, it's all the darkest stuff you can imagine. I've been like poring over stuff, binge watching stuff about Canada over the last little while and last month or so. And this is one like infested caterpillar with no legs. They've plucked all the legs off it. So it can't possibly survive, And here we are, like we have a state-run media with this puppet, globalist puppet, weft, filthy few puppet, set to just prance into the office of Parliament, Prime Minister, Slime Minister, for another 5 fucking years. Can you imagine what he's gonna do to this country in 5 years? I mean, if he gets elected again, I'm gonna talk Sonia into moving. We have to get out of this place. It's horrible. When the western provinces, especially Alberta, they separate from this shipwreck of a country. I don't want to be in Quebec. It'll be the worst fucking place of all. Like, our government has turned our province, that should be the richest province in the country, into a welfare state. It ranks like one of lowest American, for poverty and everything. That's how bad it is in Quebec. It's terrible. Don't even get me started about how bad it is, the government here. It's just so so uniquely French, you know, like you just can't find this like this sort of stupidity anywhere else but a Frenchman, especially from Quebec, because they're they're low class compared to Frenchmen from Paris. Like they're second rate, and when Parisians come here, they thumb their nose at them because Frenchmen, like even from France, are they're very racist. And these people, yeah, this is considered an ethno state. Quebec is considered an ethno state, like Israel, and like there's only two in the whole fucking world. Yeah, we talk about all this inclusiveness, but Quebec knows none of that. You know, most of its population is rural, doesn't even speak a word of English, so the Quebec media has a field day with their minds. And, just to give you an example, like after COVID, his deplorable job, what he did, how he ruined the fucking healthcare system in Quebec overnight. And they voted for him again. You know what I mean? So I have no faith in Canadians at all. I have no faith. Like, I had faith during that trucker thing, but that only represents a few people, a tiny minority of people that actually had the balls to get up and fight for Canada, and they took a shit kicking too, and a lot of them, I guess, they suffered in silence, and my heart goes out to those guys, those gals. That was a proud moment for Canada, and we helped to stop this all over the world. That like our trucker convoy was so popular that it riled the Australians, it riled England, it riled Ireland, everybody. Everybody just started full domino effect. Yeah. Yeah, so this Carney's gonna win because Poilievre, I don't like aspirations for him. I don't like PC very much at all because they cut services and stuff, and they're very like utilitarian in their approach to governance. But I like this guy. I would have voted for him just like I'd vote for Trump, even though I know that's going to be a disaster one day. Like, we're really going to regret. I would have been right in there with the red hats and MAGA and all that, and wanting to vote for him because he represents like change that we've never seen before. Like, he's an actual president that when he says something, he does it, And a lot of the stuff he says we don't like, but a lot of the stuff we do like, he does too, So, and he's changing the whole world's mindset, And Canada has a chance to redeem itself and start going back to the rule of law, and where cops can be cops, and people could just be people instead of always trying to identify as something else. But yeah, Poilievre, I had kind of faith in him, but I just didn't like the way everybody was just, it's black or it's white, and you couldn't say a bad thing about Poilievre. But people are starting to see that he's a weak leader. He's showing himself to be a weak leader. He's going along with this Team Canada bullshit and demonizing Trump and dollar for dollar tariffs. And he's saying exactly the same thing they say because he's exactly the same in another fucking uniform. He doesn't have any balls. I like the guy, right up to like when he was eating that apple. It projected some kind of confidence. And But lately, I don't know. I just see a weak leaders, hanging sort of in the background. I guess he's doing rallies here and there and stuff like that, but he hardly gets any airplay in the mainstream media, and I don't know how much mainstream media influences things. They make it sound like, you know, they still have as much reach as they used to, but nobody wants to watch CBC. It's complete garbage and fluff, and it's always promoting the liberals. And I think a lot of people in Canada don't like the liberals, and for good fucking reason, you know. But the majority of people, which are in the east here, in Quebec and Ontario, well, they'll never let go of their liberals, you know. And Poilievre had a fucking chance. He was way ahead, but now he's just sitting back with this proroguement, and he's not taking advantage of the media. He's like dancing the same soft shoe as or hard shoes, should I say, as the liberals. And then this does not look good, you know. And plus, like, he's into the Ukraine war, and he's into throwing more money at Ukraine, and Ukraine should win the war, and he's going for the same bullshit that Ukraine is defending from the aggressor, which it's totally not true. It's fucking documented, that it's the complete other way around. The complete other way around, and the fact that the whole world is ganging up on Russia, it's very unfair, you know. I know Russia isn't perfect, but I don't think it deserves this. And to have this guy like promoting that, finding out that he he's into that war, and then his basic weakness, just letting the liberals catch up to him without putting up a fight. Like, he should be taking advantage. I mean, if he wants to take a few lines from the playbook of the liberals, and he's going on board with this Team Canada shit, and and demonizing Trump and dollar for dollar tariffs, and not like trying to negotiate with Trump and go down there. He's never gotten down there. Why doesn't he go down and talk to Trump? Why doesn't he try to get a meeting with Trump? You know? Like, do you ever ask yourself these questions? Like, this is the kind of opposition that we have here. You know, our country is at stake here. Like, I mean, this is the moment. It was just like with Kamala Harris. That was the moment. I knew that if she won the election, America would be absolutely finished. And I know that if the liberals win the election here, because they're the same fucking thing as the Democrats, they're just Canadian. They're just not American. Yeah. So this guy Poilievre now, he's going along with all that. Um, you know, I mean, like the liberals, like Mark Carney, he actually announced that he was going for the leadership race for the liberals on American TV. He went down there to tell Canadians, from the United States, because that tells you where his affiliation is. He's a globalist. He doesn't give a shit about Canada. Why doesn't Poilievre, like, go down there and talk to the American media, like our illustrious liberal politicians are doing with a reckless abandon? Of course, it's always CNN or MSNBC. They wouldn't dare get on Fox, any of them. So why doesn't this guy go on Fox? Why doesn't he, like, if he can't use the Canadian media, which is all used up, why doesn't he go down and talk to Fox News? I haven't seen him there. I never see him there. What? I can't see this guy. This guy's invisible all of a sudden. This is like a critical time, and he's not taking advantage of it. I wish he'd watch my video and take some cues from it, because I think a lot of people feel this way. I've been soul searching on this YouTube thing, you know? When you get a fucking some time with Joe Rogan, like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? If I was him, I would think of all this stuff. You know, fuck you. When you're running for the prime minister and you want to be a renegade prime minister, but he doesn't want to be that. This is what we need now. We need a dictator of sorts who's just gonna bulldoze through things and get things done. And if you don't like it, you're fired. This is the kind of people we need. We need a real fucking admiral at the helm here. Like, this is a fucking critical situation for this country. And here, this is the fucking, this is the option we get, the choice. Poilievre, who stays in the wings, it depends on his time on the floor of Parliament, and he can't get outside that box. I don't know. This is the only choice we have. So we're stuck with this fucking Carney, because this is what's gonna happen. If he continues on his merry way about dancing the fucking Team Canada beat of the drum, we're fucked. Forget about this fucking country, man. I'd like strongly urge Danielle Smith, who's the only fucking premier here with any balls. She should get out of Canada. She should secede from this fucking confederation fucking thing that probably should have never been. Just the arrangement has always been really unfair. Although, like, I love Canada, but it's gone. It's finished. It's gone bye-bye. And I've come to accept that. I don't mind seeing Quebec slide off like the proverbial edge of the coastline, like it does in that movie there. What was it, 2012 or something? But if it means like isolating and like making the Canadian government completely null and void, and they have no say in anything anymore, and there's no country to manipulate and sell out, and and just watch them die a fucking very fast death, it would all be worth it. You know, they're just so disgusting. They've always been disgusting. I mean, like, just Trudeau learned everything from Pierre, and Pierre was exactly the same way. He loved China, he loved totalitarian dictatorships, he loved all these things. You know, that's why he pledged his trophy, his wife, his beard, because he was probably gay, and everybody knew it too. And we get little Fidel. You know, he looks, oh my God, like in when he's talking in college, you know, he's got a little mustache and he looks just like one of these suave young men from Cuba. Anyways, that's a scoop. That's just going on in my mind today about Canada. I'm like sort of mourning over the loss of it. Like I just can't believe it. You know, I've been through this great land many times, and I've always loved it. But I really don't like what it's become over the last 20 years since 9/11. 25 years. It's slowly descended into fucking caterpillar with no legs. Just squirming around trying to make its way. Very sad state of affairs. We're in for like probably a depression level event. That's what's gonna happen. That's what these people are gonna drive us into. They're gonna start, instead of like trying to deal with the United States and make amends for being such a communist vassal of China. We could make amends. We could try to make it up to the United States and try and improve our. No, we're gonna go to fucking war with. We're gonna, this huge bear that could just sit on us. We're dead. This enormous bear, we're gonna just poke it until it sits on us. And that's exactly what's gonna come, and I get the feeling like they're all on the same side. That's the plan. That's the plan, to fucking balkanize Canada, and provinces will get absorbed one by one. And I think it's doomed. I don't hope it's doomed. I hope there's a chance we can make it, but we need strong leadership. I mean, I'm saying like close to a fucking dictator. Like Trump, make no mistake, that guy's a dictator. You do this or you're fired. That's a dictator. And that's what we need. We need to purge our government of all these Marxists. All these, they're narco moles, they're running the drug trade through here. Like, it's become a narco state. It's a full-fledged, full-on fucking narco state. It's like, it's starting to make Mexico pale in comparison. I don't want to be here. I gotta leave. I think this place is gonna even become like extremely violent, and it's never been like that here. It's always been a safe place. Women, like, they don't feel so safe here anymore. This system is so full of hypocrisy. This windbag noodle of a prime minister we have. He keeps like proclaiming what a feminist he is, but women can't even protect themselves here. If they carry a knife, they use it and during an assault, they could get charged. That's how idiotic the law is here. The law that penalizes like tax-paying, law-abiding citizens, and basically rewards criminals. And it's totally that way. It's like the whole country has been flipped on its head. And it's been this government, but we have no other choice. We've seen what Poilievre does under pressure. He does nothing. He caves in and starts going along with the party line. And that, to me, is it's like a betrayal. Like, I find... I mean, I really hope that Canada can pull itself up by its bootstraps. But under the present regime, that's absolutely impossible, and there's no contender. There's nobody to fight for us. This guy has shown himself to be weak. He's not gonna fight for us. He's gonna fucking support the party line. Team Canada, man. Yeah, so I have no faith in him. Even if he becomes the leader, he won't be able to do anything because he's not assertive enough. We need a strong man, fucking Manuel Noriega or something, something like that. I'm serious. I mean, somebody like that has noble intentions, which is impossible to find. So I think we're absolutely fucked. Anyways, it's it's been a while now. It's been like 40 minutes. I always feel like I have to go after like 40 minutes, but yeah, I've missed you guys, and I've been wanting to make a video, but I keep getting sick, and I just don't feel like talking much. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing some reaction videos. Yeah, there's a few videos I like to go over with you guys. Anyway, so I guess I'll see you next time. God bless y'all.